Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. If you remember, if you don't, I tell you, yesterday Russia conducted a massive drone and missile attack on Ukraine. About 520 drones and missiles. According to the polls, to the Polish government, about 19 Russian drones violated Poland's airspace, therefore NATO's airspace, because Poland is part of NATO, and nowadays we have to talk about NATO territory, not Poland's territory. Get used to that. The Poles claim that they downed some drones, they showed some pictures, and the Russians' answer to that was yesterday. No answer. They issued a statement today, the Ministry of Defense, and I'm going to read that to you. Then we find out that not the Polish Air Force downed the slow-moving Russian drones, but it was the Dutch Air Force in Poland. So the Poles have no balls? What's going on here? Then we have NATO. NATO issued a warning to Russia. Lithuania, Ukraine, and Poland also issued a warning to Russia. All right. So then we have the foreign minister of Poland, Mr. Sikorski, Radisław Sikorski, married to Anna Applebaum. Some people say he is an MI6 and a Mossad agent. I don't know. But by his statements, he seems to destroy the Polish nation by trying to destroy the Russian nation. So he is issuing some statements, which is NATO was attacked, we have to attack and respond to the Russian aggression of NATO. So all these articles here and more, I have about 12 or 13 articles open for you. So let's start with the first one. And we find out the Poles have no air defense and have no air force. Why? New Voice of Ukraine. Dutch F-35s intercepted Russian drones over Poland, Warsaw confirms. Now, obviously, these guys are just trying to promote the F-35s, who are falling like flies here in America, in San Diego, and in the deserts. About, if I remember correctly, 3 of them. 2 for sure, maybe the third one was a different kind. But 2 35s fell from the sky just like that. One of them was in contact with the control tower for an hour before ejected and let the plane down. So now they are trying to do damage control for Lockheed Martin. I think they are the ones producing this airplane. So let's read and see what's going on over here. Right there. Poland's Armed Forces Operational Command has officially confirmed that Dutch, that's from Netherlands, F-35 fighter jets helped a drone incursion over Polish territory during the night of September 10th. We thank NATO and the Royal Netherlands Air Force, whose F-35s helped safeguard the skies over Poland last night. Question: Is Poland's Royal Air Force protecting the Dutch skies as well? No. Why? Well, it seems like we have a, how do you call that? A hierarchy here. We are all equal in NATO, but some are more equal than others. So F-35s, and right here it says that the Dutch defense minister confirmed that it was Dutch F-35s that intercepted Russian drones over Poland. So they helped by being the only ones right here. Dutch defense minister Rubenstein, I don't know, confirmed that it was Dutch 35s that intercepted Russian drones over Poland. As part of NATO, our F-35 fighters make significant contribution to protecting our collective security. That's exactly what we are prepared for. Good job. Good job. Now, don't put a medal of honor because an F-35 hit a drone. You understand? I will explain. How much is an F-35? How much money to build one? 30 million, $40 million? I don't know. How much is a drone? I don't know. I think $5,000, $20,000, $30,000? Now, a fighter jet has all kind of radars, missile systems, communication. It flies like crazy, man. Crazy. A drone, it's not a hypersonic, it's not a supersonic flying machine. It's a subsonic. So to have these F-35s hitting the is like, I don't know, you fight a toddler. Smack, smack, boom. Not even. The difference between an F-35 having the ability to hit a flying drone with 30 miles per hour. How fast do you think those drones fly? I'm going to show you. They have a propeller like this big. Like, they're not jet powered. No, it's a propeller. I will show you. Watch videos. So when they tell me that the mighty 35s hit the Russian drones, it's shh. You better shut the hell up. It's like tomorrow Mike Tyson comes and tells us when he was in his prime, F-35s, beat a toddler. Man, I beat the shit out of those guys. And he brags about it. It's embarrassing. Where I come from, it's embarrassing. I know nowadays if you move left like this or you do a rollover in gymnastics, yeah, the Rutte did it. All right, so next, let's go to Trump. Trump's response to the attacks yesterday. Trump on Russia's incursion into NATO. Here we go. Here we go what exactly? Well, I will tell you what my interpretation of here we go is, but let's go and see what's going on. This is what he tweeted. What's with Russia violating Poland's airspace with drones, not NATO's? Trump asked in a short post on Truth Social. Here we go. What could that be? Here we go like what? Like Russia attacks, the parallel state tries to sabotage the peace attempts made by the political system in America and the Russians. Is that what it is? Here we go, we've been sabotaged again. Is that what it is? Or it is, here we go, the evil Russians show their true face. Now, depending to interest, it might be, the Russians show their face. If it's the truth, I think someone has sabotaged something. First, I personally, and I tell you that, I am not convinced those were Russian drones sent by the Russians. I'm not saying that I'm skeptical 100% right over there, but I give it a little bit more time. Could have been not. All right? False flag operations are always orchestrated in these kind of situations when you try to stop a process from moving. Like, for instance, you have Charlie Kirk's assassination, and they will focus on gun control laws. They're not going to focus on mentality. No. Why these guys would go to violence when you have a debate. No, they will not go to that one. Why? Because they like that. They will go to taking our guns away. So the same here. When a process goes that direction, you want to destroy it by this kind of situation. And the media, which is consistently a jackal media, which is a operative media for the interest, will promote this narrative. See the evidence. Could be. Do we know why? Oh, just because they're evil. Don't be so naive. And I know you're not, because you're right here with me. All right, let's go to the next one. And the next one is another article from the Desert News regarding Trump's response after NATO forces shoot down Russian drones in Polish airspace. So you see, the Desert News gives us all the information. NATO forces, that's a fact, shoot down Russian drones, I don't know, in Polish airspace. I don't know. All right, let's move on. And I know a lot of people would say, Emil, what the hell are you talking about? What do you mean, I don't know? Did you see over there the pictures the polls provided, the statements of the government, of the military? First, I don't trust the governments and I don't believe anything they say until I acquire sufficient evidence to confirm what they say as being true. That's how I roll. All right? That's the first one. The second one with the drones. Do you want me tomorrow to show you a drone in my backyard and say that we've been attacked by the Chinese? I can make that happen. I can make that happen. Tomorrow, I can be in the woods and I'm going to tell you that I'm in Kherson, fighting in the woods the Russians. Do you want me to show you that? Oh, it's the government. Don't start with the government or with the defense minister, with a Minister of War, Department of War. Don't start with that one. They all lie when it's convenient. And we were babooned since we were children to think in truth and law-abiding and all that. But let's go to the next one. NATO warns Russia. With what exactly? Well, ask some Western elites with what. This is according to Fox News. NATO warns Russia after Poland shoots down huge number of drones that violated airspace. Now, huge. 19. I give you $19. Emil gave you a huge amount of money. $19. Emil gave you $19 million. You see, 19 could be used as huge or not as huge depending on the value. Now we have on the value of the item as 1. We have a drone, 19. Even if you have 19 rockets, missiles, airplanes, bombs, they're not huge number in that context. I would say it's a rather very small number. Now, it's true that they can cause damage, but to use huge, you understand the interest by Fox News. So Fox News, the guys in charge of Fox News, want to give you the impression that make it panicking. Oh my God! It's not oh my God. Stop the war. Oh no, it's the Russians. Okay, that's the first one. And let's read what this secretary, he's a secretary, rather, Rutte. He's, again, from Netherlands. Remember? From Netherlands. He's the Dutch guy. What's wrong with these guys in charge of things? Now, just to be honest, he's a secretary. A secretary is like this. Boss, yes. When do you want this meeting scheduled? Yes. Okay. Yes, this is the office of NATO. Yes. What can I do for you? Oh, I don't know when we're going to have this meeting. Let me see what statement the boss is going to issue. Boss, what statement will we issue? Well, tell them they're idiots, okay? And then go in front of the public and say, hey, we, NATO, decided that you guys are idiots. That's a secretary. He has zero decision-making power in NATO. He's a secretary. Have you ever met a secretary? Do you know what a secretary does? That's office work. Pushes answers, make statements other people decided. So there's other people deciding. So when he comes and says, as Lavrov said, Mr. Rutte thinks that he's in charge of some nuclear power. He's not in charge of anything. He's only or merely a secretary. And that's true. I loved when he said that. All right, here you go. NATO issued a stern warning to Russia for violating Polish airspace early Wednesday with drones intended for Ukraine. Last night, numerous drones, that's correct, numerous drones from Russia violated Polish airspace. Our air defenses were activated and successfully assured the defense of NATO territory, as they are designed to do. Got it? The North Atlantic Council met this morning and discussed the situation in light of Poland's request for consultations under Article 4 of the Washington Treaty. That's NATO in Washington. US, hello. Allies expressed solidarity with Poland and denounced Russia's reckless behavior. He added that NATO allies are determined to step up their support for Ukraine. Ooh, what are you gonna do? Let me unzip it. Zip. Now, NATO, let's go. What are you gonna do? You're gonna get and fight Russia? You're gonna destroy Russia? Well, this is what some elites want to do. Remember, they all got together. NATO territory. Remember, pretty soon it's not gonna be Romania's territory, it's not gonna be Poland's territory, Lithuanian, German. No, it's gonna be NATO. It's gonna be an organization, how do you call it? A union. In union, someone said, are fantastic, like Soviet Union. And people say, that was bad implemented. Well, how many times do you want us to implement it? How many tries do you want? All right, until you get it. Next one. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. Politico. NATO chief Rutte sends a warning to Russia after drone swarm alarms Poland. Drone swarms. Know that we are stand ready, that we are vigilant, and that we will defend every inch of NATO territory. Good, excellent, do it. Yes, stick that in your nose in your ass first, and then in your nose. How about that one? And then in your mouth, just to clean it, to start over. Boom. Next, Ukrainska Pravda. Ukraine, Poland, and Lithuania issued joint statement on Russian drone. Oh my God, Russia, you're toast. And here is the drone. You see the drone? This is the propeller. Now, you don't see it anymore because something happened. This is it right there. Bzz, 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 bzz. Now, I made a video yesterday. Go and watch it with all these things. Now, I don't know where this is. I have no idea when this is. I don't even know if this is Russian. Oh, they put a number over there, and that's Russian. I can give you the same thing with some names. I say, this is Bill Clinton right there. And on the other side of the fin, I can say, and this is Epstein. I can do that. And you say, oh my God, they sent it. Epstein is not dead. All right. I can do. You will believe it. All right, here. Oh my God, these guys are planting right now in August. Ready for what? For next season? Remember, this could be done. I'm not saying it is, but hey, I'm not a baboon either. So right there, the foreign ministers of Ukraine, Poland, foreign minister being Sikorski, MI6, remember? Part of the Lublin triangle format issued a joint statement following the violation of Polish airspace. Let's see, the ministries noted that only coordinated joint actions, oh, are you going to attack Russia? I guess not, can ensure the safety of citizens of ours, man, in the three countries. There you go. They are ready to do it. They stress the need for better coordination and operational cooperation among the relevant structures of the three states. So where are these baboons located? No worries, I show you. So this is the map of Europe, right? Ukraine is right here. We're going to get rid of these guys here. All right. Okay, so how do we go down with these baboons? Right there. So what do we have here? We have this Ukraine, right? And then from Ukraine, you have Poland and Lithuania. So these guys, this is Russia right here. This is Kaliningrad. So it's not strange that Lithuania has a problem. It doesn't have a border with Russia here. Latvia has, okay? And Estonia right there. This is Belarus. But nevertheless, they have a problem because right here, this is Kaliningrad, north of the German town of Gdansk. This part right here, ask the Germans about it. Not today's Germans. These are bowless, okay? They are pussified. No, ask the guys that know something about history. So here you have, I know. Poland should get Berlin as well if you ask them. So these guys issued a joint statement. Are they going to attack Russia? They will do nothing. All right, move on. Polish foreign minister, I'm going to show you his face. Russia deliberately, he says, attacked Poland. Kremlin claims of non-involvement are lies. This is the guy. So this guy, he's married with Anna Applebaum, Jewish, but it's okay. He immediately got a job in Great Britain together with Miss Applebaum, where they met in the train station, in the bathroom. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so he is right there. So he was just catapulted from Great Britain as a analyst, a writer, pluk, into Poland as a foreign minister. And not only this guy. So he says, Russia deliberately attacked Poland. That's a statement right there. There's no might, could, no. Kremlin claims non-involvement are lies. There you go. This is the foreign minister. Imagine that you have to discuss an issue and you meet this guy who already tells you everything that he knows is right and everything you might bring is bad. Polish foreign minister Radosław Sikorski has stated that Russia deliberately attacked a NATO country. You understand what he tries to do? He has a role, man. He believes that the Kremlin claims I believe pigs can fly. All right, that of non-involvement are lies and typical Soviet practice. You were in Soviet as well. What do you mean? Poland was a Soviet country. Right? No, wasn't? No. All right. It was just a partner with the Soviet Union. But they had the Sovroms. They were under Soviet occupation. Anyway, and then they got rid of it. Sikorski said that Polish airspace has been violated 19 times by Russian drones on the night on 9 to 10 of September. The assessment of Polish and NATO air forces is that they did not veer off course but were deliberately targeted. Okay, well, good for you. All right. He rejected Moscow's claim that Russia was not involved in the attack and that it was allegedly a Ukrainian provocation. hold your horses. An investigation is not conducted like this. You always bring evidence to support or to toss some conclusions that you reached with the evidence at hand at one particular time. Today you might reach a conclusion, tomorrow you get more evidence and you can reach a different conclusion. That's how it goes in investigations. Whenever Sikorski, he has to do something and he's doing it, which is being someone else's servant. Next one. Sikorski, Russian drones over Poland are test for all of NATO. To do what? And these guys want the dear reader, and I'm not going to give them. Test to do what exactly? What do you think he has in mind? Do you think he has in mind like tell them if you do something again, we're going to do what exactly? Whenever you draw a red line or you warn someone, or you threaten someone, once that's been gone, it's been violated, broken, the whole thing goes to what are you going to do about it? What is NATO going to do about it? I know what Sikorski would like to happen, but not Sikorski going to and fighting the Russians. No, he's going to be in the command center, and you go and fight. That's Sikorski. I want to do that too. And then when they get closer to me, I want, okay, stop now. No, it's not going to be like that. You're going to be targeted. So what are you going to do when they say, well, Sikorski, we might target you? Do you think Sikorski is going to have big balls like he has right now? Well, he has a job to do. I understand that. Again, NATO's response and increased defense capabilities would force Russian dictator Putin to realize his mistake in launching drones at Poland and to refrain from escalation. Russia's provocations was deliberate. All right, let NATO united response and the strengthening of our capabilities make Putin understand that he made a mistake. You're not going to attack Russia, so shut the fuck up, okay? If you attack Russia, we go all and see, you see Jesus, they see Moses, they see Allah, and I see there's now none of these guys over there. But I'm not going to meet you to tell you, see, I told you so. Why? Poof. All right, nothing disappears, everything transforms. What do we do now? What is Sikorski, do you think, going to do? He's going to be yapping around, telling us that NATO has to attack Russia. They won't do anything. Now, don't get me wrong. If Russia used his drones to enter and violate the Polish airspace, as they claim it was, if this is proven, that's wrong. That's definitely wrong. And I'm not going to use but I'm going to use therefore. Okay, but you have to look at the context. Is Poland involved in a war against Russia? I think 100%. The only thing they didn't do yet is shoot at the Russians directly. So I think the Russians have the right to tell the Poles, well, what did you expect? You are at war with us. Without your support for Ukraine would have been done in 2 weeks. Through Poland, all this garbage comes in Ukraine. Without you, Poland or NATO would have said, we can't do it. You inserted yourselves in my quarrel with a country that has nothing with you. Nothing. It's not a European Union country. It's not a NATO country. You don't even like them. You want me to remind you the Volyn forest? Or you want me to remind you from the Katyn forest? Right? Where the Soviets that now you love, the guys in charge of Soviet Union, that you don't like but you like, you have to like them. Because the commissars were a certain kind of stripe. Alright? So there you have, my friends. They're not going to do anything. You are involved. You want to hit at us. Let's say the Russians would say. But when we hit at you, you're, oh my God, we are the victims. You're not the victims. I think you are the aggressors. I think Poland is the aggressor because Poland supports another guy who's fighting another guy to kill that guy. So how would you consider it? I always give you this example. Let's say you fight your next door neighbor for whatever reason. And you have another neighbor who helps that guy to kill your family, even though you have a fight with him. How would you consider the third one? The second neighbor. He's definitely your enemy. What would you do? I tell you what I would do. Pack out, bang, boom. But they didn't do that. Now they send 19 drones and they are like, oh my God, don't you dare. Did you give any weapons to Ukraine? I'm talking to Poland. Yes. Why? If you tell me it was because of the good, forget about it. Give Dansk to the Germans first and then we talk. Oh my God, now half of the Polish people will just smack me in the head. Well, anyway, so that's maybe the other half will say, all right. So things are not so clear cut. So who entered the equation? You. Provided tanks, provided MiG-29s to Ukraine? You did. What am I? And the MiG-29s were not to defend. They killed people. The Russian army. There are people, they're Russians. So what should the Russians do? Oh, it's okay. You have the right to do that. You have the right, and I have the right to label you as such. You are my enemy. Here you have about 19 drones. What are you going to do about it? Next one could be some missiles. What are you going to do about it? Attack us? We're waiting. All right, I'm just kidding. Let's go to the next one. And here is the Polish evidence. Actually, Polish from the Ukrainians. Russian Gerbera drones reached Poland due to additional fuel tanks. Okay, you see that little drone? You tell me how this drone flew 700 kilometers with additional fuel tanks? I mean, my friends, let me show you. Here. This is Poland right here, right? The drones reach past where the letter Poland is, okay? Past right there, past Warsaw right here. They reach somewhere in here. Let's say in the center of Poland. Right there when my strong hand is over there, right? And they were launched probably from the closest right here. This is the closest right here. So from here to there, that's, let me see, I can show you. It's 100 miles. It's 2 arrows of mine. 100 miles is 2 arrows of mine that you see over there. So if I go from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 500 miles. That's about what? 900 kilometers. Here, do you think that drone can travel that much? I'm not saying it's impossible. But you say they put tanks? What tanks you put over here? What exactly? Where is the other drone? The picture of the other drone that they right here. This is the one with extra fuel tanks because this is that. Where is the freaking fuel tank on that? I mean, please, my friends, you know how big this is? You know how big this is? 1.5 meters right there. That's 1.5 yards. This is how long this is. Where are the fuel tanks? Where are the fucking extra ones? Inside here? I mean, and with the propeller flew 800 kilometers? My God. But hey, people don't think in the numbers. Russian Gerbera drones shot down in Poland in the night, were fitted with additional fuel tanks. Go tell your grandma that, man. Right there, the analyst explained that these drones had a non-standard configuration. Okay, non-standard. These are all bullshit words, man. In addition to the main tank in the tail section, they carried another fuel tank in the nose. This modification extended their range beyond the standard 700 kilometers, man. You got it? You got it. Well, is it possible what they say to be true? Let me think. These drones fly with a speed of, let's say, 50 kilometers per hour. I'm being generous. 50 kilometers per hour. 50 kilometers per hour. You have an engine that has this, whatever oil, gas, kerosene they use. An oil, like you have a weed whacker in America. Now, how long the weed whacker with that tank that you have works? Cutting the weeds. How long can you use that? Continuously. Half an hour? Now imagine half an hour with 50 miles per hour, you flew 25 miles. And I said kilometers before. Let's say miles, be more generous. You flew in half an hour with 50 miles per hour, you flew about 25 miles. That's all you flew in half an hour with that speed. That was supposed to go, and that's the tank like that in a weed whacker. So this flew 700, that's 20, I don't even want 20, it's miles. It's kilometers. It has to go at least 10 hours flight. At least 10 hours. And I'm being generous. 10 hours would be if I go 7 miles per hour, 70 miles per hour. 70 miles per hour, 10 hours. 10 hours with how much fuel in that drone, like this big drone? How much fuel, man? And those are the propellers to get that one. Regardless of the consumption, that has to fly. But anyway, like that long. I don't know. I don't want to say anymore. I'm done with that. Let's go to the, where do we go? We go to the Russian answer. Russia Today. Russian Ministry of Defense rejects Poland's drone claims. Okay, what you got? Let's see. Warsaw has said several UAVs crossed into its airspace, with some later shot down. The Russian ministry has not designated any targets in Poland for long-range strikes. Well, this is your statement again. The Russians said, we didn't do it. They said earlier on Wednesday, Warsaw claimed multiple drones it identified as Russian violated its airspace. The ministry expressed readiness to hold consultations with Polish defense officials on the issue and claimed that the range of the drones used in overnight strike of western Ukraine does not exceed 700 kilometers. Well, they might not exceed 700 kilometers, but what if? Right, there is true. They put additional fuel tanks, man. Good. And I'm quoting, there were no targets designated on Polish territory. Just because you say so. So you got it? They say, we didn't, our drones do not exceed 700. But hey, the answer is right here. And strangely, United Nations Security Council to hold emergency meeting after Russian drone incursion into Poland. Question. Did you hear of any UN Security Council meeting, emergency meeting on Israel hitting Qatar or Lebanon or Syria or Iran or whomever they want? No, you didn't. Why? So fuck off. You know what I mean? You're either just, you can't be selectively, I like this one, I don't like this one. You can't be like that, but they are. So that's why when I hear this Security Council to hold emergency meeting after Russian drone incursion in Poland, no, I don't give a shit. Why? Because you're selecting events where you think it's important. Gaza, where is Gaza? The Americans will veto everything. Pak, 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 pak. You see, you remember those in Romania? There are those cats, the Chinese cats that do like this. I don't know with the head on tin, tin, like tin, 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 tin. That's America. Veto, 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 veto. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.